All right, y'all, today we're taking a look at this Boudoir photography business. Gonna see for its local search and for its city search, see if it's got a BSS. Now we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So got our FSIC, kind of our graph here in white. Highest intent people on the left, Google search, social search, they're searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. The videos talk about here, dealing with that, BSS. Over on the right, we got the lowest intent peeps. We got to reach them through interruption ads, Facebook, Instagram. They are not searching for a boudoir photo shoot in their city right now, and they most likely have no idea what the heck it even is. So we talk about that in our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And currently over there, we currently only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. So boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots, we're dead. If we're on page 2 or deeper only, and that's because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So we're invisible to approximately 80% of the market, which would be the buyers from page 2. We got to be on page 1. And 1 slot on page 1 is not good enough either, because everyone, literally everyone is, the other 9 boudoir photographers that'll be there, because organic search has 10 slots on Google. None other boudoir photographers, everyone's got 1 slot. We're looking the same as everyone else. We're still invisible, not looking at anything special. And boudoir photographers, or buyers, when they go and search, they're actually approximately 80% only use page 1. So they click on everyone on page 1, open up their website, fill out their contact form, contact them, price shop, compare, and drive margins down, drive price down, negotiate, waste everyone's time. And so BSS is just bad for everyone. Well, bad for all boudoir photography businesses. Now, 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. So it's common, it's accepted, it's not normal. It's 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So basically everyone knows market saturation. Yeah, you'll get new gear over time, new iPhone, new camera, and then decide to start posting or, throw out their Google My Business profile saying they offer boudoir photo shoots now. Or, and they got their boudoir website, ranking page 1 on Google, competing with all of us. And they're also posting them on Facebook groups and they shoot boudoir now, offer boudoir shoots now. So everyone knows about that. Kind of more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for each seller. Also saw a ton during COVID. People lost their jobs but still need to earn money. And as a result, they actually went and, basically they went and had super saturation in a lot of cities. Now, false belief page 1 equality, very few people know about that, if any. And this is basically assuming every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. And it's kind of a coin flip if you get 0 or 1. And maybe you did have 1 slot on page 1 on Google, but then someone else ranked better with their new website, that entered the marketplace. So you got kicked off to page 2, and then you're like, oh, well, that's simply how it is. And then you hope they delete their website and Google de-indexes them so you can get back onto page 1. Wrong, wrong, wrong. This is 100% incorrect. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days. So I know that Google will actually give as many page 1 slots as you want to put in the effort to acquire. 100% guaranteed. And I know because I've done it. Now, boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. Yeah, man. So if you're on page 2 or deeper, invisible to approximately 80% of the market, you're obviously disappearing. And if you're on page 1 but only have 1 link, looking the same as the other 9 competing boudoir photographers there, you're also disappearing. You're invisible. Your margins are definitely disappearing, even if you are getting inquiries. And as a result, we say this DBP, disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS, it's kind of the check engine light, the first flag, the canary in the coal mine that the boudoir photography business itself is going on a path to totally disappearing. Luckily, we found the solution. We found it because we discovered it and we created it. We found that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And I mean, it works exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. That's kind of like the snow at the top of the backside of the Andes Mountains in South America, the east side. And, that snow melts, goes into small streams, small rivers, and then it all flows into the massive Amazon River. That's page one on Google search, but it all starts with the snow up at the top. That's our social search saturation. Without the snow, there ain't no rivers. And this is actually the only solution for boudoir photographers I've seen that can still allow boudoir photography business to grow in spite of massive market saturation relatively quickly without even having a brand, a large known brand. And we know because, brands take 5 to 10 years to build up a large known brand. Dude, we ain't got 5 to 10 years. AI's here taking people's jobs. We need maximum exposure, page one, social search, Google search right now. And so waiting to build a brand ain't going to do that. And actually, my estimate is utilizing S-cubed methodology will actually speed up the process of having a large, well-known brand by approximately 8x. So imagine you're a large, well-known brand. People come to you, and you're still utilizing S-cubed methodology. You're basically be untouchable, no matter how much market saturation is there. So an example for S-cubed methodology allowing or enabling a boudoir photography business to still grow in the face of market saturation is, let's say we got 1 million boudoir photographers in LA, and we're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir photography, and they are, everyone's got their website trying to rank page one on Google. There's only 10 slots for 1 million boudoir photographers. Insanely competitive. Everyone's being price shopped down to like zero margin because there's so many competitors. And as a result, we are, since we don't have a brand, the only other solution we got is S-cubed methodology. So say we take it, we crank it up to the max. Now let's say for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, what actually happens is, let's say we're taking up the first 300 slots on social search for all sorts, social media platforms for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And as a result, that flows onto Google page one, and we actually get 300 slots for Google. Well, the first 10 slots, it's 10 organic slots per page. So the first we're taking out basically the first 30 pages is essentially only us. So boudoir buyer would basically have to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors on Google, and same on social search. So that's a social search, scroll down all the way to slot 301. And so in this case, whose business is growing? If we're taking up essentially all the slots, anyone, everywhere, wherever anyone looks on social search. Well, we're probably the only business still growing because we're essentially the only one they can find. Everywhere they look, it's only us. So, this is a maximum example, but this is the magic of S-cubed methodology that could happen. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. And we get a second initial benefit, which is we're able to kick competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So this actually benefited a lot of boudoir photographers like more. This is the more slots we get. Page one, first benefit, we actually kick our competing boudoir photographers off page two, second benefit, making them invisible to the approximately 80% of boudoir buyers searching on Google. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. We care about, the GBC universe recommends to have 3 out of 10 minimum number of slots page one on Google. And the reason for that is, basically everyone else is gonna have 1 slot. So our 3 slots versus 1, they're 1. We're gonna look amazingly exceptional against them. And on the rare chance someone has 2 slots, well, we're dominating them as well. That's kind of basically guaranteeing us winning in all scenarios. And obviously we can increase that above 3 if we want. And a boudoir photographer with BSV, boudoir search visibility, is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality, or the false belief of page one equality. Thankfully, we finally now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, now my results, quick results with me, utilizing S-cubed methodology for myself. I want to dominate page one on Google for this search term, BLCS boudoir. So I started with 0 out of slots page 1, 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search, and I started utilizing SQ methodology. So here we go, organic. Instagram slot, page 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. And so I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search in only 10 days, purely utilizing SQ methodology. Did not even have a website. So these are the results I've gotten with it. All right, main event here. You can see this Boudoir Photography Business. Check its local search, check its city search. Go to Ankeny and Des Moines, Iowa. Ankeny and Des Moines, Iowa, let's see. All right, boom. All right, let's see what we got here. Boom, we got 1. Boom, we got 2. Get rid of that. All right, so we only got, well, we got 2, so that's no BSS. We're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1, Google search. All right, so we got 2. 2 for local. Let's check city. Boom, we got 1. It's nice too, first lot. And all right, we got 1, we got 1, we got 1, we got 1 out of 10. All right, so local we got 2 out of 10, so we don't have BSS, but we did not reach the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. City we got 1 out of 10, so we do have BSS, and we also did not reach the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 of Google search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've done your local search, you've done your city search, and you actually see, you've got BSS for either or both of them, or you're not meeting GBC minimum, recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 Google slots for either or both of them. And you're like, all right, you realize you got BSS. You understand page 1 equality. There's a false belief, and you're like, all right, I broke through that. I need to achieve, I need to get as many page 1 Google slots as possible. And you also understand the market saturation with, new iPhones, more boudoir photographers coming in, new cameras, more boudoir photographers coming in. But you're also looking ahead and you're saying, man, AI is taking a ton of people's jobs. Last time a bunch of people lost their job, COVID, a huge tsunami of boudoir photographers coming in. So you've actually decided, hey, you got to fortify your life right now and actually get as many page 1 slots on Google, which is only a downflow of getting as many page 1 slots on social search for all the social network searches. It's downstream of that. Before all these boudoir photographers come into the market, come into the city, and start making their websites, ranking, competing for page 1, kind of like prepare, kind of like the levees in New Orleans, since the city's below sea level, kind of like build those levees up to prevent floodwaters or the flood of boudoir photographers from taking your market share. And you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology is the only solution that can get me there effectively. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility, hit the GBC minimum, recommended minimum of 3 out of 10. Become a visible boudoir photographer, have boudoir search visibility, because you need this on your way to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also know that you actually, there's actually hidden back-end benefits of doing this SQ methodology as well we have not talked about yet. First one would be in we're building thematic keyword columns around our brand name, our social handles, our website, and all that. As we do SQ methodology more and more, it increases the probability we get actually recommended for AI overviews. Here at the top, premium placement, only 1 slot for local search and city search. And you also want the back-end benefits of every time we execute another day we execute SQ methodology, increasing the probability we get recommended through all the AI search engines, ChatGPT search, Claude search, Perplexity search, Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini search. These all run on, thematic keyword clusters, authority, age. And so every day we execute our the S-cubed methodology. We're increasing that, probably getting recommended there. And we know more, literally, I mean, Google still has, I believe, like 89 or 90% of global search share. But dude, AI search, using more and more, eating into Google every single day. I haven't used standard Google search in literally like a year to actually click websites and open and read stuff. I've always been using the Google AI mode. And so you want these backend benefits. You also decide you want to be the first mover in your city, because you recognize, my current plan is to only work with one person per city on this. So you kind of want to box out your competitors, and kind of achieve all this front end results. More hit the GBC minimum 3 out of 10 on page 1, kick out competitors off page 1, effectively make them invisible to approximately 80% of searchers who never go to page 2, and build these momentum on the back end, which is higher probability AI overview, higher probability being recommended AI search, and higher probability nobody in your city ever catches you. Putting more distance between you and them, by building up this thematic keyword columns attached to your brand for the backend for AI search engines to be recommending into the future. Because I know last time I used Google or ChatGPT to search for boudoir photographers in a city, dude, it only gave me 3. I'm like, what? There's like 60 in this city. It literally only displayed 3. So we want a higher chance of being those 3. And you also know if someone else in your city jumps on this first, they lock you out, well, you're gonna have to derive or figure out S-cubed methodology on your own. And then you have to go execute it, but you won't be confident executing it because you don't know if you even derived it correctly to use it correctly. And then you'd have to equal our output with your competitor to just maintain the gap. You'd have to actually exceed our output with your competitor for us, to actually make up ground on us, and kind of take back the momentum that we're building in the back-end AI search and the front-end results we get kicking you off page 1 of Google. So you've decided, screw that. I'd rather be the first mover in my city, give myself the highest chance of blocking out all the boudoir photographers coming from AI. They're going to be forced losing their jobs, but people still got to earn money. And you decide S-cubed methodology is the solution you want, the path you want to take. So shoot me a DM. Not right now. My DMs are full, or my DMs are closed. The hospital we're not taking any new patients right now. But